Nowadays, there's no reason you should be using cash and debit when you could be putting all your spend on credit cards. And that's because credit cards are just that much safer and come with a ton of rewards. I mean, everything you need to spend money on nowadays takes credit card. Sound good? Well, if you watch to the end of this video, we'll be going over why you should be spending on credit cards instead, how it could save you money, pay you back, or get you that business class flight halfway across the world for free. In fact, this is how much I've saved using just one of my credit card's perks in the past couple years, spending on things that I probably would have spent on anyways. Hey, I'm Kevin, and on this channel, we talk strategies to help you along on your financial journey. Just before we get started, if you can smash that like button Graham Stephan style and share this video with some friends to share the knowledge, that'd be awesome. So gone are the days where you have to be carrying a ton of cash around, and instead you can just carry around a piece of plastic or metal. Since moving to Seattle just about 3 years ago, I can probably count on my two hands the number of times I've had to use cash or debit, and all other times I just use credit instead. And this is all without paying a single cent in credit card interest. But fair warning, if you don't think you can keep yourself disciplined to pay off your bill every single month, then stick to cash and debit cards for now until you can, and then move on to credit cards. So there are 3 ways you can pay with things: cash, debit, and credit cards. But which one is safer? With cash, it is what it is. It's actually your money. If you lose it or have it stolen, you're not going to be able to get it back. And if you say bought something from someone and that thing doesn't work and you got scammed, well, good luck tracking that person down and trying to get your money back. Then with debit cards, it's not actually that much better, since debit cards are actually a direct link to your bank account. Meaning if someone were to get their hands on your debit card and take out all your money, that's your money gone. Debit cards do have some form of fraud protection, but by then you're probably already lost your money and you have to fight to actually get your money back. And that leaves us with credit cards. Credit cards are kind of like a buffer between you and the money you actually have to spend. You can also think about it like a 30-day or month-long rolling loan that you don't have to pay interest on. Again, remember, pay off your bill in full every single month so you never have to pay a cent in interest. Basically, if you notice any fraudulent charges on your account in those, say, 30 days, then you could just call up your credit card company and tell them about it, and they'll likely take it off your bill and you'll never have to pay for it in the first place. The process is actually really easy. For example, I've had a fraudulent charge on my Chase card before, and I just called the number on the back of the card, and within 10 minutes of talking to the person, they already took off the charge and I never had to pay for it in the first place. Having this safety buffer is actually really important to some people. Imagine having $2,000 in your bank account and you need that $2,000 to pay for your rent in a few days. Then someone gets a hold of your debit card and spends or withdraws $2,000. Well, where are you gonna find $2,000 to pay for your rent? I mean, yes, there's fraud protection, but it'll take a while for you to get that money back. Whereas if someone just takes your credit card and spends $2,000 on it, you can probably call them up and get that charge dropped without you having to spend that $2,000 in the first place. In fact, the FTC actually has guidelines showing that credit cards have much better protections for you and I, like the consumers, versus debit cards where you could actually be held liable for the amount. Now, it's not just your money that credit card companies protect, but sometimes even you and your purchases. A lot of these different companies have different protection benefits on their different cards, but here are some of the more popular ones. First up is purchase protection. This is a benefit that covers any damage or stolen items that you've bought on the card for a period of time. That means, for example, if you bought a pair of earphones, but you dropped it and crushed it and now it doesn't work anymore, you can actually file a claim with a credit card company and they'll reimburse you for those earphones. Next up is return protection. Have you ever bought something from a store only to later realize you don't want it anymore, but you've passed the 7-day window of return? Return protection means that if the store won't take your item back within a certain number of days, usually 30, 60, or 90 days, then file a claim with a credit card company and they'll reimburse you for the item instead. There are some exceptions like jewelry or out-of-country purchases, but aside from those, the benefit is pretty straightforward. Next, when you're buying valuables like electronics, say you're buying an iPad, then you'll definitely want to put these purchases on a credit card that has warranty extension. Warranty extension means that if your item has, say, a 2-year warranty, then putting that item on a credit card will give you an additional free year on top of those 2 years. So if you bought an iPad, let's say, that comes with 2 years of warranty, then your credit card will give you an additional year for free, bringing it up to 3 years. Lastly, nowadays, most credit cards out there come with a ton of travel protection. These can range from getting reimbursed when your baggage is delayed or lost, to travel cancellation coverage, medical coverage, and even rental car insurance. Be sure to check out what your credit card covers, as you never know when you need them. Even something as basic as rental car insurance can save you, say, $20 every time you rent a car. So the next reason that you want to use credit cards instead of debit cards and cash is that credit cards can help you build up your credit score. I have a dedicated video on how to increase your credit score that I'll link above as well as down in the description. But as a quick refresher, a credit score is a number that tells lenders how good of a borrower you are. Having a good score can help you get a lot lower interest rates on things like mortgages for buying a house or car loans, which overall can save you thousands if not more over the long run. Regularly using cash and debit cards is not going to help you bring up your score. So stick to credit cards and remember to pay off your bill every single month. The fourth reason why you'll want to use credit cards instead is for all the travel perks. A bunch of credit cards out there nowadays give you free elevated status at a bunch of hotels and airlines. For example, the Amex Platinum card gives you free Gold Elite status at Marriott hotels and Hilton hotels. That means that you can get things from free suite upgrades, free food, late checkout, bonus points, or even free nights just for having that status. Some cards even give you elevated status for car rental companies, meaning you can get a free upgrade pretty much every single time. Also, some of the more premium credit cards even offer you a lot of lounge access through their own network or priority pass. That means at airports all over the world, instead of having to eat the overpriced, mediocre food, you can chill at lounges with a view, free food, free drinks. Yes, that also means alcoholic drinks. For example, if you're flying out of the Vancouver International Airport, just by having the Amex Plat card, you can bring yourself and 2 other guests to the SkyTeam Lounge, where you can enjoy food like fresh wonton noodle soup, drinks, snacks, as well as their selection of wines, all with an amazing view. Now, the fifth and biggest reason why credit cards are superior, in my opinion, is because of all the rewards. There are 2 types of credit card users out there: those who focus on cashback and those who want to earn points. The cashback ones want a small percent of their spend back in their pockets through cashback credit cards. Now, there are a ton of these cashback credit cards out there, but on average, at a minimum, you should be getting at least 2% back on all your purchases. That means for every $100 you spend, you'll get $2 back in your pocket. So 2 cents on every dollar. For example, the Citi Double Cash credit card is an awesome card with no annual fee that essentially gives you 2% back on all your purchases. Then there's unique ones like the Freedom Flex card that gives you 5% back on your grocery purchases, 5% back on certain travel, 3% back on dining and restaurants, and 1% on everything else. Cashback in general is usually a pretty straightforward play, as all you need to do is put spend on the card and get money straight back in your pocket. On the other hand, there are people who seek to earn points, like myself. If you ever wondered how all these people are flying business and first class, or staying at all these fancy 5-star hotels across the world, unless they're mega rich, they're probably using credit cards. Now, focusing on points and redeeming them for max value will take a bit more work, but instead of the typical 2 cents on every dollar you get back using cashback rewards, you can get as high as 5 to 10 cents per point of value when redeeming for luxury travel. For example, one trip I really want to take whenever travel is possible again is to go to Japan. A business class ticket from Vancouver to Tokyo costs about $4,600, but with points, this only costs 75,000 points. Now, with Amex membership reward points, or MR points, transferring 1-to-1 over to ANA, that means I need 75,000 MR points. With some of the recent offers on the Amex Plat card, giving you 75, 100, or even 125,000 points, just by getting that card already more than covers your round-trip business class flight over to Japan. When I do go on this trip, that means instead of paying $4,600 for the round-trip ticket, I'll be using 75,000 points instead. And that means I'm redeeming my points at a value of over 6 cents a point, much higher than the 2 cents you would get from a cashback credit card. This is also useful if you want to fly somewhere, say last minute, and the price of the ticket goes sky high. Usually you could redeem the same number of points for that ticket. Also, if you redeem for even more luxury tickets like first class, then you could be getting even higher redemption value out of your points. Now, if you want to learn more about how to maximize your credit card points, check out some other channels like Ask Sebi. With all that said, remember, if you can't pay off your credit card bill every single month, then maybe step back until you can. Credit card companies charge the merchant, which is on the other side of the transaction, a few percent or a few cents on every swipe in order to make money and fund all these rewards that we get. There's no cost to us to use credit cards. With credit cards having better safety for your money, consumer protections, raising your credit score, giving you travel perks, as well as redeeming for cash back or rewards, you'll get much more out of spending on your credit card. Now again, I really appreciate you watching till this point of the video, and it'd mean a ton if you can like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what topic you want to see me cover next. Spend safe and see you in the next one.